Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Texas Rangers franchise here on MLB 21 The Show. So going into this episode, we are starting off with the 2022 MLB Draft, where we held the 13th overall pick, and with our first round pick, we got Christian Hightower. We took another starting pitcher in the first round for back-to-back years just because he was the best player available. Hightower has really good velocity, nice stamina, a decent break, a really awesome four-seam fastball, and a lot of interesting off-speed stuff. He's probably going to have an ETA of about 2024. And for the rest of the draft, we didn't get a ton of guys with super high potentials. We got a lot of guys with a ton of high floors, so our minor league teams are definitely going to be filled out. But with our second round pick, we took James Beard. He's a really good fielder, probably going to be a nice fill-in for Josh Young whenever he eventually gets called up. Good contact and vision as well. And then in the third round, we have Brian Cortez, who's a decent closer for us. Probably will be our double-A closer next year, and then he'll just kind of be in the minor leagues for a while. In the fourth round, we got Estevan Cabral. He's a nice fielder with decent speed, just a good center fielder, meh potential, so, you know, hopefully he can become something, but he just kind of joins a logjam of minor league center fielders for us. But then again, if he can be a standout, we do need a actual everyday center fielder we can be comfortable with. And then in the fifth round, we got Grant Baum, who has decent contact and speed, fine potential, nothing crazy there. And then with our final pick, we took James Pedroza, who's mostly just a future minor leaguer. So that's pretty much it for the draft. Again, not a crazy draft. Our minor leagues are definitely going to be filled out quite nicely, which adds a little bit more depth. These guys are probably going to be trade assets. I do like our first round pick, though. There were only like 9 blue chip players in this draft, so it wasn't like an insanely talented draft across the board by any means at all, so it is what it is. Anyways, now we're going to talk about the actual teams. So looking at the standings, and this is the big surprise, we're currently first in the AL West at 31-18, and you'll see why a lot of this happened in a moment. But before we get into that, I did want to mention that our pitcher Yang, he was the second lefty in our rotation. He was probably the worst pitcher in the entire staff, so I decided that we were going to send him down and call up Andres Angel, the rookie, or the number 2 overall pick from last year's draft. He is now on the major league roster, and he actually had a start against the Mariners in which he pitched 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, got 5 strikeouts, and only had 1 earned run. So a decent start to his career, but we're hoping that he can be a potential superstar for us. So it's awesome to have him join the roster. And then looking at the stats for the rest of our players on the season, starting off with the hitters, we have Danny Santana, who has an above 1 OPS. He's been great off the bench, might even make his way into a couple bats in the starting lineup if he keeps playing like that. And then Nate Lowe has been a breakout player for us, an above 800, almost 900 OPS with 9 home runs, batting 281. Nick Solak is kind of the same, batting 280 with 5 home runs. Willie Calhoun has also been pretty good himself. A small cold streak here, but he's been a lot better than last year, so hopefully he can stay consistent. Joey Gallo was off to a slow start, but he has been much better recently, so hopefully that can continue to improve, especially because we do have to worry about a contract extension. Leody Taveras has been pretty good for us, especially considering the fact that he adds a lot for us defensively. And then David Dahl started off awesome. In the first month of the year, he had 7 home runs, but since then he's tapered off pretty hard, now in a cold streak, so hopefully he can get better. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is a great defender, but hasn't been amazing with a bat, but he's, I guess been fine. And then Anderson Tejeda and Sherten Apostle need to be a bit better. They're young, so they have a lot of time to improve, and I guess it's not terrible because I really wasn't expecting that either of these guys would be a major piece of our future, but I would like at least Tejeda to just be a little bit better for us. And then Sam Huff and Randy Florento, our 2 catchers for right now, have been fine for catchers. Eli White has just been straight up bad as a 4th outfielder. And then Tristan Ziegler at the bottom here, he just got hurt for like 3 months at the very beginning of the season, so I'm not even going to really comment on whether he'll be good or bad for us. We're just waiting for him to come back. Now, looking at the pitching side of things, Carlos Rodon has been insane, absolutely lights out this season. A 1.66 ERA, so far 2 wins above replacement for us. There's just not much to say. He's simply been amazing. Hans Kraus has been good. He's been kind of rocked around lately. He started off with like a below 2 ERA to start the year, but ever since then, that ERA has started to climb back up. He's still fine. Hopefully he continues to develop. Kohei Arihara, he's fine, been consistent to what he did last year. Kyle Gibson, a 2.55 ERA. He's been good again. Back-to-back good seasons for him, which is interesting to see because he's also up for a contract extension, so we'll see if we are willing to give that to him there. And then Yang, he's not pictured in this stat sheet, but again, like I mentioned earlier, he had an above 5 ERA, left a lot to be desired. And then we moved on to Andres Angel, who's on the roster now. He is hopefully going to be fine. He's only had one start, so there's not much to really say about him. And then in the bullpen, Jonathan Hernandez has been fine. Hopefully he starts to get better and get back to where he was last year. He's nowhere near as good so far. Hunter Wood has been great. Joely Rodriguez has also been really good. Sir Anthony Dominguez, the Rule 5 draft pick, has been good. He's definitely been getting better as of late. He had a very slow start to the year. And then Joe Jimenez, he's been fine. Jose Leclerc needs to be a bit better, but he's been a lot better than last season, just not as good as he should be. And then Brett Martin at the bottom here, he's been fine. Needs to stop blowing games for us, and then he won't be at the bottom of these WAR rankings. But anyways, that's it for this episode. I know this video was a little bit longer considering we were only talking about the beginning of the season, so hopefully in the next episode we'll actually have gameplay. I don't know where the next episode will be in terms of the season, probably picking up around the trade deadline, and this season I am thinking about making a move or two, so we'll see how all of that goes. But regardless, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.